Okay, today's video is a little bit different. We've got something very cool to do. Now I'm fishing a lake. It's not been fished for over 30 years. An English guy and his wife have just bought the venue. They want to turn it into a fishery. So I'm actually over here to fish the main lake and help figure out what the stock is. But there's a bit of a caveat because although you've got the main body of water, there's a little river section that goes around the back, like a cut off dead arm. And in there's some carp. And he wants the carp moved from there into the main body of water. Now ahead of me I've got 4 or 5 days fishing the main lake, but then after that I'm going to come and do about 24 hours on this little cut-off section to see if I can catch any of the carp that live in here and move them into the main lake. It's really important because the lake owner, he wants to turn this cut-off section, he wants to dam it off and turn it into stock ponds. The fish need to be moved over, 1 to supplement the stock of carp in there for the anglers, but 2, it's not a big body of water in there, so they're not going to grow. It's going to be stunted their growth, so getting into the main body of lake, they're going to get loads bigger. So it's quite an important job we've got on here. Like I said, I've got 4 or 5 days fishing that main bit of water, and I'm going to come back over here, and my job is to move the fish from here into here.
For the regular viewers of this channel, this lake may sound familiar, and that is because I've already released a video of my 5 days fishing the main lake. It went extremely well, where I landed plenty of uncaught carp and helped Tony gain a better idea of the stock of carp he'd inherited when he purchased the lake. If you've not watched that video yet, be sure to check it out at some point to see how I got on. Whilst I was fishing the main lake, Dan the bailiff was doing night on the cut-off section. He was landing a few fish and these were being moved over to the main lake. We honestly had no idea how many carp were in this cut-off section. Tony and Dan reckoned there were no more than 8 or 9, and Dan had already caught 6 whilst he was doing those nights. That left a very small family of carp. However, I had been keeping an eye on the place when I would do the odd lap, and I had seen signs of carp. I felt like there was the potential to be more than a handful of fish left in there, but there was only one way to find out for sure. Get a rod in and start fishing. I was going to give myself about 24 hours to see if I could catch any carp that could then be relocated into the main lake. I really didn't know what to expect. With only a couple of carp predicted to still be in the lake, I didn't want to go crazy by putting rods and bait all over the place and potentially spooking them. So I went for a single rod approach, fished next to a fallen willow over a small parcel of bait. If there were any carp left, I'm sure they'll be spending some time by the willow. I tied up my preferred slip rodding presentation using a size 6 claw hook attached to a rodding swivel with shrink tubing on a 20-pound fluoro-link boom. I attached a bright yellow Scopex squid pop-up, one of my all-time favourite hook baits. The rod was flicked over to the willow, followed by a sprinkling of my bait mix that consisted of mixed seed, Scopex squid and citrus boilies. The rod was out, the spot was baited. Now it was time to see if anything was left in this lake and would they be interested in feeding.
I cannot believe it. The rod has been out 5 minutes and it's gone. And it's got carp in the end. This is a spot that I baited by that willow. I thought the fish might be around there, hiding away from Dan, where Dan's been catching them. And this willow just looks amazing. Flick the rod out, that little pop up, and it's gone straight away. You don't have a clue how many fish are in here. There could be, well, there was at least 6. Dan's caught 6 and moved them over. But there could be another 1, there could be another 5, there could be another 10, we don't know. There's definitely one more, because I've got one on the end here. Oh yes! Come on!
I wasn't expecting a bite that quick. Only around 5 minutes after putting the rod out, it screened off with a mega mirror on the end.
There's something special about fishing for a mystery stock. We've got no idea what is in that little section of the lake. We don't even know if there's any fish left after this one. So for this rod to go so quickly, I was well happy with that. Dan's been catching loads, moving them across, so this one's going to go join them. What a cool carp. The strain in here is so special, and I can't wait to see what else, if anything, we catch from that little cut-off section. Going to get him back now into his new home, see what else we catch.
The rod was flicked back out on the exact same spot and only took another 5 or so minutes until it was away again.
That is a bite and a half. My God. Oh, what a ripper. What an absolute ripper. Been getting a few liners. I thought, no way, I've just put the rod back out. Surely we're not going to get another bite straight away. Must be small fish. And then it's gone beep, 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 beep. I expected it to drop back down again from the line and just carried on churning. Ripper, that absolute ripper. They're definitely living around that willow tree. I mean, if I was a carp, that's exactly where I'd be living too. Oh, don't ping off the dorsal like that, lad. Don't get your head up, lad. Yes, yes, yes. In the net. Oh, he's big. He's a double scooper. Oh no. Get in the net, lad. What on earth is happened here? This is the worst netting in the history of carp fishing, but he is an absolute chunk. Oh my word.
It's on that.
Definitely. Look at the size of the mouth on that.
Well, no sooner had that rod gone back out again, line has started, I thought it's got to be small fish. There's no way there's carp on that spot again. And I had a series of bleeps that I thought were going to be followed by the drop back sound, but it just kept on going. And after a brutal fight, this dinosaur of a carp was on the end. What a sick fish. And to think they're getting to this weight, having never had any angler's bait, they really are freaks of nature to get to this size when it's just on naturals. Who knows what else is in there? Like I said, this could be the last one, but 2 quick bites like that, I think there could be more in there. I'm quite surprised at what I've caught. I'm sure the lake owner's buzzing that he's got stock like this to add into his main lake. I'm buzzing just to have caught it.
There again? Surely not. I think I am. Whew. Yeah, another carp. Oh my god. Thought that might have been a bream. I wonder how many fish are in here. Oh, he's an old little carp. In the net. Maybe not. Here you go, lad. Get in that net. There we go. Oh my god, 3 fish. And genuinely, I reckon the rod's been in the water 5 minutes for each bite. 15 minutes of fishing. We've got 3 lovely carp. Crazy. All along that willow. Epic stuff.
Well, what is going on? 20 minutes that rod's been in the water. We've had 3 bites. And look at this one, proper old thing. What a unique strain. I don't recognise them at all. They're not what you think of when you think of French carp, so really unique to this lake. I know we keep saying it, but this could be my last bite because we don't know if there's any fish left in there. But the fact that we've had 3 bites so quickly, I would be surprised if we don't catch any more. We're gonna get him back into his new home now, get that rod back out, see if we catch another one.
The other side, we're heading close racing. We're aiming for Bradfield there. Doncaster lead Colchester 1-0. Harry Clifton.
Oh no. Don't like that. No. Stripping. Can't quite believe what's happening. The owner, when he segmented these off, he said to me, I think there's 4 or 5 carp left in there. Dan's caught 6, and now I've caught 4 in about an hour of fishing. Unbelievable stuff, really. This has been some insane fishing. And he is in the net. Lovely stuff, my word. Can't quite believe what's going on here.
Well, talk about some hectic fishing. This one was only a small mirror, but 4 fish from this cut off part of the lake in about an hour of fishing was just insane. The rod was flicked out on the spot again, and it wasn't long until the little pinprick bubbles started hitting the surface, and I knew that another bite was imminent. The fish were unfortunately getting a little bit smaller, but I couldn't complain. A little common was soon netted and relocated back into the main lake.
What an afternoon of fishing that is. Generally, the rod's been in the water for a total of an hour and a half, I'd say, and we've had 5 bites. And that's under the assumption, like, I generally today, going over here, thought there's maybe 1 or 2 carp left in here. Dan reckoned that there was 8 in total. Obviously, he caught 6 beforehand. I thought there could be up to 12 from what I'd seen, but I was not expecting there to be as many fish as this. I'm gonna go for dinner now with everyone. I think it's a bit stupid to put the rod out whilst we're having dinner, because I'm just gonna have to be interrupted if there are any fish left because of how quick we're getting the bite. So I'm gonna put a little bit of bait in and then get the rods out on dark, and I'm hoping that there's chance for at least 1 more carp, and we can end this little mission, this little side quest on another fish.
After a delicious meal and a glass or 2 of red wine, I was back in the swim and flicking the rod out on the spot. I was pretty confident that it wouldn't take too long until I had another bite.
Proper jungle warfare, playing these fish with this little pokey hole. In the net. Ooh. Well, I think resting the swim was a good idea. I didn't want to be interrupted whilst I had my food, but I didn't mind being interrupted literally within 10 minutes of getting the rod out. Nice, great stuff. And I'm going to say it again, this could be the last one for me. Could be the only carp living in here. I'm happy to have caught it. We'll get the rod back out and try again at least.
Well, I think resting the swim for dinner was a good idea, because 5 minutes after casting the rod out, it went again. Another really cool carp. Can't quite believe the strain in here. And I'm going to say it again, perhaps it's the last one, perhaps it's the last one that lives in this section of the lake. But you never know. I'm going to put the rods back out again and we'll see what happens. To be honest, if I don't catch another one, I'm not really that bothered, because the number of fish we've had and the quality of fish we've had has been pretty crazy. Right, let's get into his new home, get the rod back out and get some sleep.
I only landed 1 fish in the night, which I kept in the sling for Tony to give it a once over before releasing it into the main lake. It was a beautiful common, but I didn't bother recasting the rod after I landed her, as I'd rather catch the fish the following morning in the daylight. Once the sun hit the fallen willow in the morning, it was time to get the rod out and see if there's any fish left to catch.
That spot is just crazy.
With the fish resting in the net, I decided to flick the rod straight back out. Before I had the chance to deal with the first fish, the rod was away again. Mental. Come on, join you, mate. Peas in a pod, these two. Ooh. Yeah. Right. Don't think I can put this rod back out until I've dealt with these two. I can't believe that spot, honestly. Fish after fish after fish.
Tony had just left quickly to go to the shops, so he put the 2 carp in retainers to await for his return. I stuck the rod out for one final time whilst we waited for him to head back, and would you believe it, we had yet another quick bite. This was just insane. This one was really going to be my last fish, as I had to get on the road. I netted the carp and got it straight out for a few pictures. It was another mega mirror, and a decent sized one too, at around £35. Before we got the brace of carp out I caught previously for their time in front of the camera.
Well, how about that for an ending? Double up. I thought we'd caught all the fish in there, so I pulled the rods in at night, and then this morning I flicked them back out, 2 bites in quick succession. What an ending to a crazy adventure. Who knows what's still in there? Let's get these fish back and we get on the road. Thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it really helps me out on these crazy adventures, make some awesome content that I hope you guys enjoy watching. So get them back, get on the road.